Hi, my name is Tara Salee, Hy-Vee dietitian. I'm happy to be back with you guys again. I hope everyone had a great summer and is off to a great school year. We are going to be talking today about healthy breakfasts in a hurry. I know heading into fall, getting back in routine, back in the swing of things, it can be easy to let breakfast slide, but we want to make sure we're still incorporating a great breakfast option. This is such an important meal. So today we're going to be talking about why we need to eat breakfast. We're going to be talking about what nutrients we need to include in a healthy breakfast, and I'm going to show you 4 different healthy breakfast options that you could try. So first off, why do we need to eat breakfast? For energy. This is our first reason. So we, throughout the night, have an 8 to 12 hour fast, depending on how much sleep you get, and when we wake up, we need to refuel. Our body physically and cognitively performs better if we have a good source of fuel in the morning. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna have more energy throughout the day. Secondly, it regulates our blood sugar. Now, even if you're not diabetic and you're not concerned with blood sugar, this is still something that would apply to you. So when we eat breakfast and we include certain nutrients on our breakfast, it stabilizes our blood sugar throughout the day. So we don't have the spikes and the crashes. When we have crashes in blood sugar, it leads to cravings. So this is going to help prevent cravings and again, help you have more energy because of that stabilized blood sugar. Again, if you are diabetic, it's even more important to have that healthy breakfast as well. Thirdly, it's a great opportunity to include key nutrients in your diet. So a lot of breakfast foods contain whole grains, protein. These are things that most Americans are lacking, as well as calcium, folate. So when we're eating breakfast, typically we are more likely to get those nutrients in our diet as well. So what do we need to include in a healthy breakfast? First off, we want to make sure it has a good protein source. I want you guys to stick to about 15 to 20 grams. This would be kind of the low end there, but you really want to have that much protein in your breakfast as a good baseline to regulate your blood sugar throughout the morning. So think about including things like eggs, hard-boiled eggs, scrambled eggs. Also, you could use different plant-based milks, or regular milk is a good protein option. Turkey, bacon, or turkey sausage also works very well here also. There's also a lot of other grains that are incorporating protein powders now, and I'm going to show you one of those with this cereal in just a minute. Secondly, we want to make sure there is a good fiber source. So fiber actually slows down your digestive system, which is very beneficial in keeping you full for longer. So the slower your digestive system is moving, the longer that food is sticking with you. So it's going to carry you through those morning hours until you're able to refuel and have your lunch. Thirdly, we want to make sure there's healthy fats in our breakfast. This is important because healthy fats fats in general help us to absorb other nutrients. Some of those nutrients we talked about a minute ago. So what are sources of healthy fats? Things like chia seed, avocado, nut butters like peanut butter, almond butter, things like that are great sources of healthy fats, as well as pistachios. So these are things you could also build in to your healthy breakfast. So what we're going to do today is I have 4 different breakfast options to show you. We're going to talk about the good old-fashioned cereal option, but a better for you cereal. We are going to make a coconut coffee smoothie. We're going to do tropical overnight oats, and then I also have a turkey and hash egg breakfast cups. So we will start over here with our cereal option. So for those of you that like bare minimal, like rushing out the door in the morning, it doesn't get any easier than cereal, but we're going to switch it up a little bit. So here we have the Catalina Crunch. This is the cinnamon toast cereal. So think like cinnamon toast crunch, but healthier. This option here has no added sugar in it, but it does have grain. So you're still getting some carbohydrate, but also a ton of fiber. There's 9 grams of fiber and 11 grams of protein in this cereal. You can see it kind of looks like Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well. With this cereal, we could add to it some milk. I grabbed the Ripple Original Milk. This is a pea protein-based milk. So again, it's going to have a good source of protein in it. In 1 cup of this, we have 8 grams of protein. So if we do our half a cup of cereal and our 1 cup of our milk over here, we're right around that 15 to 20 gram marker, and a very easy option for breakfast. All right, So next up, we have our coconut coffee smoothie. So for this, you're going to need some coconut flakes, as well as some cold brew coffee, and you can kind of just pick the option you like with this one. You will need dates. This is what we're using as the sweetener, a banana, some cocoa powder, and vanilla. As well as we will also use the ripple milk again. So we will start by adding, you could do like a bullet or whatever kind of blender you have, but half a cup of cold brew. This is also a great option if you're not one who typically eat breakfast and you'd rather just drink your breakfast as you're like on the way out of the house, you could do that. So we're gonna do half a cup of the ripple. It goes in there as well. We are going to do 2 pitted dates. So if you've never used dates before, you can actually get these in the health market, and I'll show you here. So here's our date, and then there's a pit right in the middle. And so when I pitted these already, I just kind of like broke it open and then pulled out the pit. So they're kind of sticky, but very simple to do that. Okay. And so we're gonna put the dates in there as well. You're gonna need half a banana. And if you wanted to do the banana like frozen to kind of make your smoothie a little colder, you could certainly do that as well. We're gonna use the other half of the banana for our overnight oats over here. And then we will add to that a tablespoon of cocoa powder. This is for flavor. And then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right. So we'll add this as well. It was a half teaspoon measure. That's why I did 2 of those. And then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of our flaked coconut. And we are good to go. So we'll blend this up. As the sweetener, you really do need to pulse it pretty good. I've done this in the Magic Bullet and it's worked, but then again, it depends on kind of the blade you're using in that one. So now some people don't even need the sweetness, but the date is to kind of cut the coffee just a little bit. So that's going to be kind of your taste preference. Nutritionally, if you decided to leave out the date, you wouldn't really be missing much. So here we have our smoothie. So we have option number 2 with that. So we have our cereal, or we could do our coconut coffee smoothie. All right, so switching gears again, our next option is going to be tropical overnight oats. So for this recipe, I'm going to scooch all this over just a little bit. And I'll put our 2 breakfast options over here. Okay, so what we will need for our tropical overnight oats, we're going to need some Quaker oats. These are the quick oats. We're also going to need chia seeds. We're going to need a mango. For the mango, I went ahead and cut it up, and halfway through cutting it, I wish I would have done it for you guys, but when you pick out a mango, you want to kind of think along the lines of a peach when you're picking it out. So something that's like relatively soft but has a little bit of give to it. And then the second thing with the mango is the way I like to peel this, and that I think is by far the simplest, is I would think of the mango as like a potato, and I peel it with a potato peeler, and then I cut the mango off of the seed, essentially. In the middle, there is like a seed similar to a peach, so you can't just cut straight through it. So we already have that done. We're gonna use cinnamon, cardamom, and then also pistachios. We're also gonna use our ripple milk again for this. If you prefer to use cow's milk and want to use something like our Fairlife, that's fine as well. All right, This is a recipe that you could actually make the night before. It needs to sit in the refrigerator for 2 hours or overnight. So when I make overnight oats, I'll usually make a couple mornings at a time in separate little dishes. And then they're really easy to just grab out in the morning with no prep. All right, so we need 1 cup of our quick oats. So here we have 1 cup. We're gonna use a 1/4 cup of chia seeds. So this chia seeds have no flavor. They look kind of like a poppy seed. They are loaded with heart-healthy, I dumped the whole bag there. They're loaded with heart-healthy omega-3s, the plant-based version, so it's ALA. Very high in fiber, so good for heart health as well. They have those healthy fats that are gonna help you absorb other nutrients also. We are going to add our cinnamon, which we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We are going to add the cardamom, which we need 1 teaspoon of that. Okay, that smells really good. From there, we are going to go ahead and add our milk, which we need 1 1/2 cups of milk. And then we're going to give this a really good stir. So you're going to notice in this, we actually did not add a protein powder to our overnight oats, which a lot of my overnight oats recipes do have protein powder in them. This one, the Ripple protein, the Ripple milk is going to help because we're at 11 grams with that. And then we also have some protein in our chia seeds, and we're going to be adding pistachios to the top. So once this is really good and combined, there we go. Then we're going to add our fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and add the mango. And then we're going to add some banana. I'm going to use the other half of the banana that we did from the coffee smoothie. Now you could really do this whatever size fruit you want, and then you could also do frozen. So that was the other thing I wanted to mention with the mango. If you don't like the idea of having to go to the trouble to cut it all up, like frozen mango is also a really good option. All right, so this is well combined now, and all we have left to put on that is going to be the garnish on top, which is going to be the pistachios. So we're going to chop these. I just want to give these a rough chop. They don't need to be super small. Run my knife through one more time. We're not biting into huge entire pistachios here. Okay. The crunch really adds a lot to this dish. So, okay, so then we're gonna sprinkle these on top. And now it's ready to go into the refrigerator. So I would cover this, I would pop it in the fridge, and it'll be ready the next morning when I'm ready to leave the house. Now, this actually makes 2 servings. So if I was prepping this for my own breakfast, I would probably put it in 2 smaller dishes. Sometimes I even put it in just like a mug so it's easy to grab as I leave the house. But here we have our first 3. We have our smoothie, we have our cereal, we also have our tropical overnight oats. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and then we will make our egg bites. All right, back again to make our 4th and final recipe. We are going to be making our egg and sausage hash brown cups. So for this recipe, you're going to need some hash browns. You're gonna need some tri-colored peppers, sausage, turkey sausage, some cheese, and eggs. So to get this going, we're gonna start with actually turning on our stove here. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the pan. While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and spray these. This is what we're going to make our cups in. Now, if you would prefer to make this as a casserole and just cut it, you could certainly do that as well. We're gonna need about 2 cups of hash browns. And you can get creative with these. I mean, you could essentially like use like cubed sweet potatoes in place of this, which I think would be pretty good. We'll get 1 more cup here. That isn't working too well, so. All right. And then to that, we will add our peppers. So I went ahead and got the shortcuts just as a time saver. Otherwise, you could certainly get peppers and give those a cut. And then they go in here as well. So we are going to let that cook for about 5 minutes until it kind of softens up. And this is going to be the bottom layer of our cups over here. So from there, we will need some eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack a few eggs into our dish here. We need 4 eggs. This is something that if I have time, like on a Sunday, I would do this. It's just an easy option, like for the first few days of the week. All right, and then you could do salt and pepper to taste. I'm just gonna do some pepper. Everything bagel seasoning would be something else if you wanted to add that in. We're gonna mix this up. This is going to go on top of our hash brown mixture. And then from there, I'm just gonna do a dash of milk in here. I'm using the Fairlife milk. So remember, this milk is, it's actually cow's milk. It's been ultra filtered, so it is lactose free. It's also lower in carbohydrates, and it still remains with all of that protein intact. So here we have 6 grams of total carbohydrate for that 1 cup of milk with 13 grams of protein. So a little bit higher than that Ripple milk we looked at just a few minutes ago. All right, so this is starting to kind of soften up over here, which is what we want. Also need to preheat the oven to 375. All right. Next up, I actually have, I got the pre-cooked turkey sausage. Again, I just went the easy way today. You could actually, get the kind that isn't cooked if you wanted to do it that way. If you were gonna do that, I would be cooking this at the same time and browning up that sausage so that the hash brown mixture as well as the sausage are ready at the same time. So since this is already cooked and we don't have to worry about that, I'm just gonna go ahead and add it to our mixture over here. So we can just add all of it at once. Now, if you have other veggies you like, or maybe you have fresh things in your garden you're trying to get rid of, like tomatoes or zucchini, you could chop that up and put that in there as well. When I make these for my family, I like everything in them, whether it be like spinach or tomatoes. My kids are a bit more finicky, so sometimes I usually just pick one veggie when they're going to be eating it too. All right, so this is pretty soft, so we'll go ahead. I'm going to bring this over here. You could use muffin tins, or the little square ones work as well. So I'm just going to spoon into my tins here this mixture right into the bottom. I did spray the bottom already. So we're going to do that to each of these. I really like to do at least one breakfast that is like pre-made, whether it's the overnight oats or a casserole like this, because I just find that it's easier to stay on track when I'm not having to cook something or do something every single morning, and keep eating good. Otherwise, I feel like we kind of fall into that peanut butter toast or type of breakfast. So when I have something done in advance, it just makes everything go smoother. Okay. So here we have that. And now the egg mixture goes right over the top. And we're going to do that to each of these. And then from there, we will add the cheese. Fresh herbs would also be really good in this, and a nice punch of flavor. Okay, so I'm just going to do those first few right now. And then you'll put cheese on the top. You can get creative with this as well. I just got a Colby. I didn't even actually get it open here. Oh, there we go. A Colby, and you're gonna sprinkle that right on the top of each of these. Once you have all the cheese on top, they are ready to go in the oven. They only take about 15 minutes to cook. So once you pop those in at 375, kind of keep an eye on them starting at around 12 minutes. You'll want the cheese to be completely melty and it to be cooked through because of that egg. So if you're questioning it, you could kind of stick a knife in it, but that's that. Super easy. These are great to just, once you cook them off, you can put them in the fridge individually wrapped and then heat them up in the microwave in the morning to make that morning go even smoother. So hopefully now you've been kind of reminded of the importance of eating a healthy breakfast. Maybe you have a few new ideas of something you can incorporate into your own morning routine. If you have any other questions, you can certainly reach out. Your Hy-Vee dietitians are always here to make your lives easier, healthier, and happier. Have a great day.